what is fill power? I received that question a lot. Really, what is it? And it's a cubic measurement of an ounce of down in a glass cylinder. And the higher the number, the loftier the plumes are. And I'll show you, I've got a couple of plumes here to show you the difference. And this is Polish source, and we only source white goose down, which is the premium of the premium. This is an 850 plus fill power down plume. It's actually probably coming in at closer to 885 or 900 on this particular plume. And we also certify that it's a minimum of 95% down plumes with 5% feathers. You're always going to get a little bit of feathers included in with your down when you spec it. And we spec that a minimum of it is 95% down plumes. And this is another down plume. You can see the difference in size, quality, and the difference you get from a Polish goose, white goose versus just a generally sourced down plume. And one of the things that you'll notice, if you can see it in the camera, I can see it clearly here, is the length of the feather plumes that come off this down feather. It almost looks like tentacles. And then if you look closely, within those tentacles, you're going to see other little barbs that come out. And you really may not be able to see it on the camera. But high quality, high performance down has all these attributes that you see in this down plume. And there's a difference not only in down feathers, like I talked about, coming from Poland, but also how you process a down feather. And there's a facility in Japan called Kawada Feather. And I've been able to go out to the factory and meet with Mr. Kawada, who is the foremost leading expert in down feathers and also down feather certification and testing. And he has hand-built his processing equipment at Kawada Feather. He's also done a bunch of research on where he positioned his down processing factory based on the type of deionized water that he could access through a deep well, and then the perfect humidity to process feathers. And all of that's important to maximize the performance of a down feather from what I've learned from him. And there is a difference of what he can produce out of his facility versus what you can buy from generally sourced Asian down. And primarily it's keeping the integrity of the feather through his drying process. He is less invasive on the feathers. He can get them drier without burning the feather or scorching these tiny little ends of the feather or burning and destroying the length of these plumes. So you're gonna get a more robust feather process there. The other aspect of high performance down is the cleanliness of the feather. And there's a lot of oils and dirt that are on these feathers when he gets into the processing plant. And he's developed a washing technique and chemicals that help his feathers get even cleaner than what you get out of a traditionally less expensive processing facility. And so you get a cleaner feather. You get a feather that went through the drying process with less damage to it due to heat and the tumbling that it goes through. And at the end of the day, you get a much higher performing down feather product. The downside to our down program and where we source the feathers, why we only spec white goose down from Poland and process it at Kawada Feather is the cost. And that's the benefit to our business model. I couldn't afford to make our down products with these feathers processed at Kawada Feather and bring it out at a price point that most could afford. And that's the advantage of the KUIU business model, is to be able to do the homework and research to find the best of the best of the best and then source and spec those types of materials.